Today we are talking about protecting the shooter, and we're primarily going to watch some closeout fouls. I might have a few that aren't quite closeout, and maybe we'll look at some of those. But what we're trying to do is stop that type of defensive move of the defender, barreling into or getting under the space of the shooter. Some of these I did on Facebook. And again, for those that are on our Facebook group, you'll see these and we'll discuss them. In fact, let's start with the Facebook one. Okay, official calls a foul. What do we think? Foul, pass.
I think there was
Foul.
Foul.
Was there any contact?
Yeah, it looked like on the foot.
Oh, the body too.
There's a foul.
The hip.
But even if there's no contact on body, look at those feet.
Yeah, he's in his space.
Right? So he jumps into him to try and block the shot. And obviously he didn't try and get him on purpose. But he put his foot right under the shooter's foot when he was landing. It wasn't after he came down. He came down on top of it, right?
Yes.
And you have to allow that defender to land, even though it was slight. This is something where slight has to be called, because if that foot doesn't land the way the shooter is expecting to land, that is easily able to roll that ankle into a break or a sprain or something easily. So that's got to be a foul. Do we agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the talk for, again, those that are on Facebook. Here's was some of the talk on this play. There was a lot of talk about the trail should have stepped down.
Right.
I'm assuming they mean closed down. And I'm going to say two things on that. One, look how fast this pass to shot is. Do you think any official could step down that quickly?
No.
No, but where should that official have been originally?
28 foot mark. 28 foot mark.
I would say below that. Free 3-point line extended. At the top of the key there, that is the home position. There is no reason why that official cannot be in that position. And if he was, right, he can officiate all that, and the center's got some of that. If he's down, he would have been in the perfect spot. Then if he would have stepped down as soon as that pass came in, he would have had a perfect angle to see that. Do we agree?
Yeah. Yes.
That's why home positions and standing in the right position is extremely important. Even when you would say, like, well, there's nothing going on in my area right now and I got nothing much. But if something does come into your area and you're there, you're going to be in a way better position to be able to adjust slightly up or down to see that play better. All right. Let's do the next Facebook video.
Nothing.
Okay, now there's no whistle on this play. Do we think that's a good no call?
Yeah.
Good no call.
I think there should have been a whistle.
Good slow down.
I got a foul. I got
Look
a
at
foul.
the defender.
I got a foul.
Look at the defender and where they move from and where they end up at.
Yeah, he does go forward pretty much. Yep.
That's a foul right there. That's a foul.
Now
That's what Tim said.
that wasn't a little movement. He jumped way into him and caused contact.
Right.
But would you give him two shots on that? Because he actually launched a shot after. It wasn't a continuous
Well,
move.
that's a great question. Should this be a shooting foul or would it be a non-shooting foul?
The non-shooting foul.
No.
What's he doing? What's he doing right here? He's definitely
He's
looks like he's
starting
going to
to
shoot,
shoot.
correct?
He's faking.
He's faking though, Josh.
All right, hold on. This looks like he's shooting. Yes.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. And then he sees the man coming, and what does he do?
Pulls
Pulls it
it down.
So now he's not shooting anymore. Do we agree?
Agree.
Yes.
Okay, so now he's not in the act of shooting. Contact,
Foul, no shot.
and then he throws it up. Was that contact when he was in the act of shooting?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
How about traveling? How was he supposed to shoot? The guy hit him.
Yeah, and he didn't travel very far. Just had two.
If
Just had one.
as he was going up, if he kept going, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you that shot. I'm going to let you allow. But as soon as he curled away, that's no longer a shooting act. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Well,
And you're right.
some
He's coming
people-
right at him. That's not fair. Well, okay, you got the foul. That's
Some
what you
people
get for
don't
that.
like to have their shots blocked either.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
He
All right.
also moved his pivot foot.
Oh, he
Yeah, he
moved his
traveled.
You know, all you people out there, when I tell you, look at this closeout foul, you always come up with a travel.
With the slow motion benefit, that's definitely a travel.
Let's see it.
Yep.
Yeah, he okay. Now, did he travel before the contact?
Let's
Yeah.
see.
I think he did.
That jump step, that step back, is that legal in high school?
Now, look,
No, that's illegal.
but he moves again
It
after
looks like he's holding the ball roughly here,
Right.
which he's got his foot still on the ground.
Right
Okay.
foot.
Okay, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and said he's grabbing the ball with both feet off the ground because we can't see from this angle, right? So we'll say,
Right.
fine, he caught the ball with both feet in the air. So he
Okay.
can go 1, 2, that's legal.
Then he
Right?
moves the left foot again.
Which one's the pivot?
Left.
But he'll
He's
move
all right.
again.
The right was.
So when he
There's
moves
That's a
that,
travel.
so when he
That's
moves that left,
travel.
he still
Travel.
travels.
The travel.
Travel.
Yes.
Right? So if we have a travel on that and then he barrels into the guy, is that a travel then a foul?
No.
No.
No, it's a travel.
Incident.
Travel.
Why is it not a foul?
Dead ball.
Is that
Right, because any contact after the whistle is to be deemed incidental unless
Right.
unless you rule it to be what?
Intentional.
Flagrant.
Intentional or flagrant. All right, that was actually a good pickup because he did travel pretty badly, and we need to see that. Even though we see this impending contact coming, and this kid's totally going to hit him, and I'm just waiting, I'm anticipating, and I got the foul. No, he traveled. You know, easy, go the other way.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know who said that, but that was good.
It's not easy if it happens so fast you don't see it.
Well, that's true. I mean, who was it? Jacob, you said, you know, when you have slow motion, you could pick that stuff up easy, right? Too bad we can't use that. Hold on, coach. Let me go to my video. And oh, yeah, okay, travel. All right. I'm going to keep this last Facebook one for near the end.
But all jumps off of 1 foot, jump stops onto a staggered landing or travels. They need to be together feet off that 1 foot.
Well, not necessarily. Again, it depends on how the ball was caught, right? So if they're dribbling the ball and catch the ball with both feet in the air, it would be legal. I would agree with you, Jacob, though, that 95% of the time they're grabbing the ball and then jumping off of 1 foot.
But if you look at it technically, scientifically, it's almost infinitesimal that both feet land exactly at the same time. They're landing essentially at the same time, but it's scientifically, it's probably 1 foot is even microscopically landing before the other. Now, blatantly, like something like that, yes, 1 foot definitely lands after the other.
So I agree. I don't like it when you say scientifically, because then it makes us look like we're nerds.
Well, no, but I'm
kidding.
just saying if you were to actually completely slow-mo break it down, 1 foot's probably always going to land slightly before another.
Right. And
But
so
on
that's
something like that last jump, it definitely 1 foot lands definitely before the other.
yeah, and
or
that's
after
something
the
that I
other.
like to talk about a lot especially when we talk about traveling, is we can't expect perfection. We
Yeah.
have to have a little bit of a leeway when it comes to 2 feet down. Was it close enough? Boom, boom. Is that close enough? For me, it is. If it's boom,
Yeah.
boom, that's not close enough, right? So all our threshold's going to be a little different, but yeah, we can't expect perfection.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm the newbie in the room, so I'm giving them more leeway on stuff. So
All right, let's watch this one. Okay, now there was no whistle on this one. Again, these are all roughly the same type of play, close out fouls. Was this a missed foul like the other one, or was this a good no call?
Well, a trail doesn't have a clue. He's in no man's land.
There you go.
We can talk about position after we get this, because I don't disagree.
No, because the shooter brought his foot, the shooter was shooting forward.
Yes, but did the defender go from A to B?
Yes.
Actually, he did, yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's
Okay.
a foul.
And he
'Cause
lands on his
he's got-
foot.
Absolutely. You got to give the shooter space to come down.
Now, do we also agree the kid just crumples and totally
Right.
flops that foul, right? But
I mean,
this is
the kid-
one
Yeah, but he
where,
might be protecting his ankle from getting rolled there too. You know, if he
right, and-
maintains his height and stuff, he might be putting more pressure on the ankle, so he knows to let off of that.
and this doesn't even matter to me. This is one where we have to call it anyway. You think he flopped and faked, but he landed on his foot, and you have to allow the shooter to land. And someone said that he jumped forward, which he does, but not very much, and a way less than what the defender moved into his space.
Right
Agreed?
there. Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
a
to
foul.
you have to allow
Yeah.
the shooter to come down.
You probably won't even get much grief for these kind of fouls anymore, because these days they're so common, and official or coaches expect that call because we're protecting the shooter.
Can you play it one more time? Real
Oh
quick?
yeah, and we wanted to talk about positioning too. Here it is one more time. You want it slow or fast, Frank?
No, fast, fine, just fast. One time.
That guy. Oh my God. What can he see?
Okay.
Thank you.
Now
That's hard to see.
C is in a great spot. When that ball goes up, C could probably move in 3-4 steps. Do we agree?
Probably.
Yeah.
In
Nobody
toward
on
the
that side
lane,
of the
just to get a
floor.
little bit better, just to get a little bit closer to the plate. Not that he's okay standing there, but just to get more into the play so it can maybe help with the rebounding. Trail
Oh, he's
is not even, I don't know, he's not a division line at least, but he's way behind the play and he straight lines himself. And if you watch this whole play, he stands there with his feet like cement.
Who did he travel?
Oh my God.
Well, no, he actually looks like he takes a couple of steps. Look him shuffle his feet.
No,
That's close enough for me to not. I think,
No, it's okay.
he catches it.
Legal.
I think he catches it with his. Hold on. All right, here we go. I think he catches it with his.
You could take a, there you go. Nice. Square up. He
I mean,
comes in.
Again,
gets
if
a
you
square.
if you want to nitpick, you might be right, but this is to me a normal catching, shooting
Catch and shoot.
foul.
Yeah.
It also looks like he's jutting his right leg out a little bit.
Hey, Josh, I'm sorry to come in late on this video. I guess these calls always go 50-50 in my mind. Like, what should we really be looking for here? Is if he gave him room to land, if his ankle gets stepped on? What would you recommend that we look for in a situation like this, in a specific play like this?
All right, so specifically, let's go to we're watching the defender. And this is again where we say referee the defense, referee the defense. You need to know where did the defender leave from and where did they land at. He leaves from the free throw line and lands beyond the 3-point line. Okay, so the defender is moving toward his opponent. And even though he got there, I mean, he got there after he went up, but even though he got there, and didn't cause any contact, the airborne shooter's got to be allowed to come down.
That's a foul.
Josh, doesn't it look like he's pushing his right leg out there?
No,
Yeah.
not enough.
That's
Not enough for me to say
Look,
that's a leg
he
kick out.
sees it and juts it. To me, it looks like he juts it forward with that.
That's a normal. That's a
I don't
normal.
think it's like an
jump
NBA
shot.
kick your foot
That's a
forward.
normal
leg
jump
kick.
shot for
Okay,
a
but
high
he-
school
Steph
player.
Curry. I'm
Tim,
just-
what do you got on that?
But he also kicks it back. Do most shooters kick their leg back? This is just the way this kid shoots.
That's
tough call.
that's his normal shot.
When
That's
it
a foul.
when it comes to that leg kick out, I think it really needs to be a kick out. All right. And
I
I've got
agree.
one that I put on Facebook that I'll play it in a little bit. That's slight, that there was been some argument about, but we could talk about that then. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, this is on a big floor. State game.
Dylan Arnett on the ball bench with a couple of early personal fouls. Gutierrez will step back. There's that player on the board.
Hey, now, no whistle on this play again. Do we think that's a good no whistle, or should that have been called?
That was a foul.
Nothing.
Dylan
he kept
Arnett
walking
on the
into him.
ball bench with a couple of early personal fouls. Gutierrez will step back.
No, that's a foul.
I mean, he just kept walking into him.
Yeah.
He's going forward, more
Okay, so-
forward.
So he comes down. The defender lands here.
But look where he juts his feet out. That to me is a lot more intentional. Look at
Yeah,
that.
he's still moving into him.
Okay, now we could call a leg kick out on this if there's contact on that leg.
There isn't.
Where's
There
the contact?
There isn't.
Obviously,
It's on his
it's a
left
straight angle,
foot.
but it looks
Left
like
foot.
it looks like it's hard to tell from this angle.
So it looks like
And the defender even follows through several feet after it.
it looks like he allows the shooter to land, but then just moves into his space.
He
Absolutely.
went
That's a
feet.
foul.
Went from the free throw line all the way to almost the top of the key.
This has to be a foul.
That's a foul.
Absolutely. It took 3 steps into the shooter. That's an automatic foul.
Okay.
You gotta call that
Next question. Is it a shooting foul or common foul?
shooting foul.
Oh,
Shooting
that's-
foul.
The act of shooting.
Common foul. He's already on the
Foul.
floor. He's already back on the floor.
Wait a minute. Are we looking at the same video here? He's in the act of shooting?
Active shooting.
When-
The act of shooting
Look when he
is
makes
shooting foul.
contact. Look
When
the
does a
defender makes
shooter
contact.
stop becoming a when stop becoming? When is a shooter no longer a shooter?
When he hits the
He's hitting
floor.
the floor. He becomes
Yeah,
back to the
He's
floor.
he's a shooter now. He's an airborne shooter because the ball has
Airborne
left
shooter.
his hands. Still a shooter. Still a shoot. Is he a shooter now?
Oh, that's a,
Nope.
I'd
He's
say he's
not a
still a
shooter.
shooter until he's got both feet on the ground.
Yeah,
1 foot.
1 foot.
Oh, it's only 1 foot?
That's bang bang. Yeah.
Now, if we put this kid at the line, nobody's going to say a word because I don't know who it was saying, "No, he's still shooting, he's still shooting." Everyone thinks that's still part of the shot. And that is bang bang. It's hard to sometimes discern, was he shooting, was he not, on those down and box out, especially the ones where they box out, really hard. If you put him on the line, no one's going to say anything. Everyone's going to think it's a shot. But technically, by the rule, once he touches the ground, hits the floor, he's not a shooter anymore.
yeah, but you're going to nitpick that to death and not send that kid to the line. I got that kid shooting it all day. I hear what you're saying, but I got that kid shooting.
I would probably, now again, it's easy for me to say now watching it 15 times in slow motion,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
but I think I might consider this not shooting because I don't see any foul. Now I see the foul because now he just moves into his body, but he's already clearly come down to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
but
He didn't affect his shot whatsoever. He let him come down and then he moved into his torso. And that's kind of the point of once the shooter comes down, they can't be considered shooting anymore because it had nothing to do with the shot.
What about the upper body, Josh?
yeah, but he came down, not the way he wanted to come down because the guy was in his face.
I know. I disagree.
There you
I think
go.
he came down exactly the way he wanted to come down.
And he
He
only
came
had
down.
one
He came
foot
down with the way he would have normally. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
He's in his space. So if he's in his space after the shot and he comes down and the kid goes into him, you mean to tell me it's not a foul, or what are we saying here?
By
You're
rule,
saying it's not a shooting foul.
The
saying
question
it's not
is
a
the
I'm
question
calling it shooting
is it a
foul.
shooting foul or
Yeah,
not? We
it's
see the
still a
foul,
foul.
see the foul, but the question is it a shooting foul? That's the question.
Good video.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
controversial.
I got
got you.
shooting foul.
I got 2 shots.
and you know what?
Agree.
I'm not here to convince one. I'm not here to convince anybody here one way or the other. That's got to be why we're getting paid the money to make that determination. I can tell you with 100% certainty with the slow motion, that was not a shooting foul. 100%. But
Yeah, because
that might not be what you have during the game because like you all said, it looks like he's interrupting and he's still coming down and so I get all that.
Hey, Josh,
Yeah.
is it 1 foot on the floor or
Yeah.
2 feet on the floor? I was looking in the rule book, but I couldn't find it while we were talking.
1 foot. Everything in high school Everything is 1 foot because where you are touching the floor, it determines the location of where you are as a player, right? So if I go out of bounds and I got to come back in bounds, I need 1 foot because now I'm touching the floor. I'm in bounds. If I'm touching the inbounds and the out of bounds at the same time, I'm out of bounds, but I only need the 1 foot. Same with an airborne shooter. Once I come down, 1 foot means I'm no longer airborne because I'm touching the floor.
So Josh, if the left foot comes down and it's clean, the right foot comes down and he steps on the defender, he already established position on the floor. He's no longer a shooter, but the second foot was the one that caught it. What happens then?
Yeah, that's a great technicality that you could use as an argument, but I would say to allow as far as, so you're saying whether it would be shooting or not shooting is your argument?
I'm saying that if it's only the requirement, you're still a shooter until 1 foot hits. Then if 1 foot hits and the second foot lands on the defender's foot, he's no longer a shooter, so it's not a shooting foul.
Well, I think technically by rule, you're right. And I think everybody here probably would say, and I would suggest, both feet have to come down to be able to land, and I'm still going to give him a shooting foul. That's what I would do. Yeah. I think by rule, you would be supported to say, nope, that he came down. But I think good practice would be, and again, on that video, if you put him at the line, did he come down? Maybe he came down, but then, I don't know. But definitely a foul. We agree it's a foul.
Better find in the rule book because you're going to have to say, if you say by rule, you better be able to quote it.
No, but you could say, Coach, I don't think he allowed him to land. You have to let a shooter land. Absolutely. And if I get 1 foot, 2 feet, and my second foot hits, he didn't allow him to land. That's all I'm going to say to the coach. And if he yells and screams at me, that's it. We're done. Yep. Right? Logically, that makes sense. You got to let the shooter land. Do we agree?
Absolutely.
And don't ever, we say it sometimes, I know, but don't ever get into a rules book explanation with a coach. You can cite a rule. You can tell them what the rule is, but any more than that, the coach doesn't care. Mm-hmm. He probably doesn't care the first rule either. He just wants you to call it his way. And
absolutely.
I would say coach, I'm protecting the shooter. I do the same thing for your player.
Yeah. And that's a great thing to say is I got
2 shots.
I would do the same thing for your kid. And most coaches, they hear you and they would go with that. All right.
I let it go, but I'm not calling that a foul because of the kind of magical term called marginal. In my book, that's just too marginal. I don't even see like a body to body contact
on that last
they're
play?
very, very, very close and maybe they touch, but I don't think they bump.
On that last play we saw?
I don't see a disadvantage. There's no disadvantage.
He knocked him down.
Out and fell backwards and fell over. I didn't see a bump which caused him to fall like that.
All right.
That's just what you can't argue. I just don't see that. So
either the kid flopped or there was contact that knocked him over. You got to call one or the other. You can't do, to Jacob's point, he didn't see any contact, and that's fine if you don't see any contact, but they don't want the closeout move to get worse. And that one was enough. Slight, you say? Yeah, I think that slight is enough for me to make the call, because otherwise the next time the kid's going to really jam his ass into him and knock the kid over, and maybe now he'll get hurt. So you're setting that tone. I don't know where that was in the game, if anyone noticed, but all right, we can beat that dead horse, but we're going to move on. Okay, official calls a foul. The center does. The trail, not that they didn't have a foul, but they had the 3-point signal up for the 3-point. What do we think? Good foul, or should this have been nothing?
No. He went into him.
He jumped into his vertical space.
Yeah, I'm calling a foul.
Right here is
a
foul.
He didn't give him a chance to land.
Yep.
He was under both feet.
Absolutely.
And what does he do with his arm to make it look worse?
Yeah. Look, almost
onto his side.
Ditches it.
Now, did he push him down? Probably not. But it sure looks worse when his arm extends and the kid goes down. Did he step on his foot? I can't tell. Maybe he did. But again, enough.
Body.
This is enough for me to call a foul, because you cannot, this is what we're trying to lesson in a game. You cannot have a defender come into the shooter's space. You know, it's a lot like is in the first period. So he's setting the tone here, setting the tone that we're not going to let this happen.
I mean, I think if you're you know, refereeing the defense, you see that this guy comes from behind the free throw line all the way to the top of the key. He's obviously went into him.
Yeah, he's beat on the play, so he's going to try and make up for it, and he takes his space away.
And then he couldn't stop.
Right.
And it's
Wow.
okay for him to come all the way from the end line to try and approach the shot. That's fine.
Sure.
But he has to stop short.
Right.
I like the call. Center got it.
Good call. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to another Facebook play. This is a fun one.
Is this Connecticut?
It is not. This is in Chicago. This got a lot of discussion on Facebook.
De La Salle.
De La Salle country.
Here it is.
Looks like a
Now, first of all, I want you to look. The foul happens at the bottom of the screen, lower right. And the new lead, because this is a transition play, calls it because it is 2.6 left in the fourth quarter, and it is a 1-point ball game. Okay? And the home team clearly is winning. And it's the visiting team who has the ball. And I know it's not a great angle, the best we could do. But what do we think? Good foul, bad foul?
Bad call.
Well,
Player control foul.
Clips his foot.
At first, I thought the offensive
Yeah,
player
it's
kicked
fun.
his leg out, but then I see it looks like a contact was made that it dragged it out.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah,
like
that's what
player
I was
control.
The kid deserves an Academy Award.
If he hit him high because there's
Yeah.
nowhere else where there was
Slow
contact.
motion, you can see it moves out before contact.
Right there. But
Right.
Yeah, it looked to me, it
Right
looked
foot to
like
right
his foot
foot.
got kicked by the blue shoe.
Look at
Yeah,
those
no,
feet.
I think his
Those
foot got
feet
kicked
are
out.
connecting.
That's a foul.
Those feet are hitting each other.
I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta
It might
Maybe
be
he hits his
slight,
foot.
That's a foul.
but he definitely hit him in the shoe. Does it look like, and again, not a great angle, does it look like he stuck his leg out to cause the contact?
absolutely. Well, I
No.
think so.
No.
I can't
I think
can't
it's-
really tell. I think maybe not, but if he did, it wasn't very much.
No, he happened to kick him with his.
No, the guy went into him.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I
You
think
got-
he made contact with his feet in the air. You got to give him. You can't touch him while he's like that.
Defender made a really great play, except
Except for he hit
he
him on
ended
his
up
foot.
hitting his foot.
Right.
Yeah, if he misses his foot, it's a great defensive play.
And that is one where it also goes to end of game scenarios and protocols. We've got to be ready for those kind of things, and we cannot be scared to make that call. If you think it's a foul, just because it's a 1-point game, or maybe it's a tied game or whatever, and like, well, I don't want to decide the game. You're deciding one way or the other. If you don't call it, you're deciding. If you do call it, you're deciding. That's what you're paid for. You have to decide on whether fouls were there or not.
Hey, Josh,
So-
did the official call foul on that play?
The official had a foul.
Good.
Good
And
for him. That was a good call.
And I talked to the official, and he spoke to the coach after, because the coach sent the video. I don't know if he sent it directly to him or to the assigner. And he knows the coach well enough to be able to have a conversation. And he said they went back and forth several times. And he finally just ended it with, we're going to agree to disagree, because I thought it was a foul. I think the coach's argument was he stuck his leg out to cause that contact. Maybe. But and me again,
I
it
don't
was,
think
it was
so.
so little.
Yeah.
We just don't have an angle though to turn.
I disagree with the coach big time. I don't think he stuck his leg out at all. I think he went up for the jump shot. The guy hit him in the leg. That's what caused it to go out.
His legs look straight up and down.
And the coach who's complaining is sitting. Oh, maybe he's not. No, you see the coach right at the division line?
Yeah.
He's already illegal. He's right at the division line. So his angle was probably a pretty good angle about whether he stuck his leg out or not. Right? Because he's kind of looking right that way.
But at that point, he might be linear. Oh no, yeah. Yeah, he may have an angle on it.
Now again, was it enough where we would call, that's offense? Because then it would have to be an offensive foul, right?
Yeah.
You stick your leg contact.
That's a foul on the defense.
Josh, how close did the ball come to the basket? Did you have the tape to finish it?
I don't think I did. Let me see.
I think it fell way short.
The ball was gone when he kicked him, though. The ball was gone.
The ball didn't even hit the rim, I don't think.
No, it hit the front.
Barely made it to the lane.
It barely made it.
Oh, no, maybe. No.
No, I don't even see the net move.
Hit it.
But I'm sure the coach is looking for watching the ball go up, not looking at the feet.
But that contact on the foot wouldn't have had any effect on that shot. That was just a bad shot.
No. Ball's gone.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Josh.
Look, the ball's out of his hands.
I understand.
And there's no contact on the leg. Ball is out. There's no way him getting hit in the foot caused that ball to go short.
He didn't hit him yet.
But that's not the point of the closeout fouls. The point is you have to let that shooter land. You cannot hit him while he's in the air because that's dangerous.
Still an airborne shooter.
Yes.
Did he sink the free throws?
I don't know. I think maybe they did, and that's why the coach was mad because he lost the game.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a good one.
He didn't travel. That's good.
All right, now here is one where this is from several years ago, but full disclosure, I am the center. Not that you all can't figure that out. Most of you can, but I am the center and I'm the one who's going to make the call here. And I am going to call it by the book. Mr. Rules Guy. That's who I am.
Not a position.
I'm going to show the video.
The position, right.
I'm going to show the video and then we're going to discuss. Mr. Rules Guy with bad signals. That's not an approved signal.
Yeah. What kind of?
Well, that's a foul.
It's a foul anyway.
Okay, it's clear. It's clearly a foul. Yes, we agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it fast again, and then a little slow. It's clearly a foul, no question. But is it a shooting foul?
Yes.
He's still in the act of shooting until he comes down, right?
Where's the contact?
That's so close.
Looks
Where's the
simultaneous
contact?
when he comes
That's
down.
Here's even
bang,
slower.
bang,
Look at
bang.
this.
He
He's on
goes
the
right into
floor.
his body.
And then he
I
gets
don't know.
behind.
I thought his butt hit the upper body before the foot touched the ground.
It looks
Right,
like it's
so-
about the same time.
So you could sell like, well, he hit him, but here, look, he's
Right
touching
there.
the floor right here, and
Yep.
then he lands on top of him.
That's where the foul is. Right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
called it out on the side.
Now,
His space
I
is,
called.
Josh, his space is invaded big time.
Okay, hold on. I called push out of bounds. He wasn't shooting, and the coach was mad. But his logical, he argued relatively calmly with me. Said, "Josh, I know what you're saying." Because I told him, I said he came to the floor and then he got pushed. Josh, I know what you're saying, but everybody calls that shooting. And in my mind, it went off, and I kind of said, like, yeah, why do I have to be the one who nitpicks, right? I saw his foot down, and then he got hit. That's a shooting foul. Okay, I'm okay with that. That's why the first one, he ran into him. That's a shooting foul. Okay, because he has to come down and, be okay. So let's not nitpick and see that foot land, and exactly, again, I was right, 100%. I just showed you the video. You could argue maybe he hit him before that. But the main contact wasn't until he came down. But nobody in the entire gym thinks that that's not a shooting foul.
Do you remember, Josh, what your
Yes,
reply
one
was to
person
him
did.
after he said that?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Do you remember what your reply was after he said that, if you replied to him?
I didn't really have a reply other than, Coach, I know what you're saying, but he came to the ground. He's no longer an airborne shooter. That's all I had to argue. And that's, again, I don't know how you all are, but in the middle of a game, especially when you make a call like that, a tough call, and you're certain of the call, you're going to defend your call, right?
Yep. Tell them everyone else was wrong. You were right.
Yeah.
Who counts?
Coach, you got to learn the game better because I know what I'm doing. Yeah, no, I just told him the same thing. But again, I got the video and I watched it and I marked it out. But I ultimately come to myself and say, yeah, we're not here to nitpick. Again, that kind of goes to the traveling. They go 1-2 slightly. Okay, close enough for me. I'm not going to nitpick a 1-2. It's got to be, everyone can see little things, or I set a screen and maybe my elbows are out a little bit like this, but I'm trying to hold it. I'm not going to nitpick a little bit of an elbow out, right? What is the intent? We have to always rule intent. I'm not ruling intent. I only rule action. We rule intent all the time.
Yeah, if you're not going to nitpick a travel like that, you're not going to nitpick that kid ain't not shooting a ball.
Agreed. All right, here's the next one. What do you guys think?
He hit him in the air.
He kicked his leg out.
Hold on.
He kicked his leg out.
Let's reverse this. I'm going to play it fast again, and then we'll comment on the slow.
At that angle.
He goes up for the shot. Did the kid hardly move at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's watch the slow. Let's watch now again. Look at the official. He calls a block, so we know it's a body foul, right?
I know he's got a good angle there, but
now we don't have a great angle, and we don't have the angle that the official saw at all. So all we can do is comment on what we have. But look at the shooter. Okay, he goes up, right? He's up. And the defender is going A to B a little bit.
Stopped right there.
It looks like he comes down. Does he step on his foot? Possibly he steps on his foot. And if he steps on his foot, I'm calling that a foul. Because we have to do what?
Protect the shooter.
Right. We have to allow that shooter to come down and land. Let's say he doesn't step on his foot. Then what do we have?
If there's any other,
it doesn't look like anything else happened, does it?
No.
The defender went A to B, but he didn't continue into the defender. He stopped. Totally stopped.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm saying this is kind of a bad angle. I mean, you can't really see over there, but.
So yes, the angle we have is straight lined and we can't see. And I'm thinking, as I watch these videos, he stepped on his foot. He must have landed on whether it's his toe or not. And again, if he lands on his toe, that's got to be a foul because the next one's going to be on his, foot, and the next one will be on his ankle. The next one, the kid will be into his thing. So we're setting the tone to say, this isn't going to happen. You cannot move into a shooter.
We got the trail making a call in the Leeds area too.
Yeah. That was me. That was me at lead too, and I had nothing.
Well, that's because you're a terrible official. He probably had to over-officiate that game.
I was looking right at the play. I got nothing.
Right at it.
All right, let's watch.
Back on Joe. Such abuse.
Okay, now on a drive to the basket, we stay with the player, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. We're staying with him, but then what does he do? He pulls out. So he's no longer driving to the basket. So we should now be transitioning and allow the primary official to take that call, which is the lead.
Huh.
And I know it's quick. He drives and he stops and he shoots. But as soon as he's no longer driving, that trail needs to start watching the other players on the perimeter and then the impending rebound, because that is the leads shooter now. Do we agree?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes. Absolutely.
Tim, do you remember? Did he land on his foot or no, or you don't remember?
No, I do remember that. I do remember that because when I remember sending that to you, and I was saying to you, I don't know why the trail's got a foul on this. It's right in front of me. I got nothing. So,
and sometimes you may see him land on his foot. It's right in front of your partner. And sometimes you have to just let it go, because you have to also trust your partner and what they're doing. And you can go to them, excuse me, you can go to them after the game or at halftime and say, hey, do you remember that play? I saw him clearly step on the kid's foot, and that's supposed to be a foul. You know, and then you can talk about it and hash it out. But sometimes in the gray area, it's a little different. But when it's right in front of your partner, unless it is a crew saving play, which that was not, we need to back off.
Well, that, and usually if you're down there and you're playing that, if you're the player down there, a lot of times if you land on somebody's foot, your reaction is you immediately pull it back. He never moved his foot. And I'd be have a patient whistle maybe.
I agree. The body language, let's see if I can play it again. The body language tells me nothing happened.
Right.
On both the defender, and the defender isn't the best one to choose from, but and the shooter. He doesn't really do anything.
The 14's backing away. He's got his hands back. He's
not
like,
on his foot. He's not on his foot.
And did you see he does a little bounce like, oh yeah, that was a good shot. And it was a good shot.
He made it.
Give him an extra
So
one.
again, if he doesn't land on his foot, that's nothing. If he does
he
land,
bounced up real quick, so obviously he didn't land on his foot. So, you know, the guy that was the lead who said he sent it to you, there was nothing there, I think. But it was close, but.
Okay, another state game. Go. No whistle on this play.
Wow.
Let me turn the sound on. No whistle on the play. What do we think? Here it is fast again.
Booker down court going against Hargrove says, no. Let me throw it out. Oh, and a nice
That's assault and battery.
That's his shooting foul. That's on one.
All right, let's watch it slow. Let's see what we got here.
Definitely
Defender clearly jumps A to B. Do we agree?
Yes.
Yes.
But he goes by him. He doesn't go into him. He goes by him.
Yeah, but he's got him with his
pushing him eyes in the air.
Yes,
forearm in his
Agreed.
Agreed.
Forearm in his rib cage.
Yeah,
Agreed. He still causes contact, even though maybe he's even trying to avoid the contact by going around. Yeah. But he doesn't allow that shooter to come down cleanly.
Did you miss that call, Josh?
That was not me.
Oh.
This looked like this was downstate.
That guy, that's because you can't see his midsection. He's actually thinner than I am.
Yeah, he moved. He moved when he hit him in the ribs.
Yeah.
That's a foul. We got to get that.
That's a foul.
The official did a great job of watching the shooter come down.
Booker down court going against Hargrove says, no.
I don't know. If he did a great job, he'd call the foul.
But we don't have an angle.
Could have at least helped him up.
He should still be looking at him. Body's on the floor. Keep your
That's
attention there. Don't worry about the basketball.
Jacob, I agree. When this player, even if you're going to rule nothing, I'm watching. I'm still watching, because we've got a player on the ground and another player nearby. I'm watching this. We've got two other officials that can see all this rebounding action.
It looks like he was watching him. I mean, this kid was up in the air. And he still had no call.
But then he
turned his head.
Look his head. It snapped
Watch the wall.
almost instantly after he comes down. It snaps. Watch.
But he was hit while he was way up there.
I think he was hit. Maybe after he came down. Well,
no, right there.
He's on the way down, but it's near the peak of his jump.
Yeah. I mean, it's after the apex. I get that, but he's still clearly in the air.
Now I'm going to say this, because again, my mindset just the last couple of years have changed. I probably would have passed on that 4 years ago, because I hate kids that fall down. They just fell down. And I think that kid fell down to help sell the call. But there was enough contact, which is why the kid fell down. He's like, all right, I'm going to fall down. Maybe he didn't land properly. Maybe he did, but he definitely got bumped, and he's going to fall down because he got bumped. I'm the shooter. You can't bump me while I'm shooting. Do we agree?
Yes.
I mean,
And I hate slight. You all know I hate slight fouls. Stop giving me slight fouls. But on a shooter, we've got to do slight now, because otherwise, again, it moves further and further. And then the kid, heaven forbid, you have a game where the kid turns his ankle. Most of the times they sprain it, but you have a kid break his ankle because of a close, even if you get the foul, it's terrible. These kids, practice and practice. And all right.
So Josh, really quick, I
Yeah.
thought it was maybe strategic of that number 3, that his back was to that trail, so he didn't have a good eye on what happened there. In that example, should the lead have closed down at all, or was there really no time?
It's a good question. So what? So you're saying the center? No, I think a center, even if he comes down a little bit, has a pretty good look at this. I don't know if he changes his position at all, if that's going to alter. He is a little high initially, but the number 1 is right there. You don't want to be right on top of number 1, right? So he stops because he wants to make sure that he's in a good spot, which I think he is. And nobody's going to get this except the center. Nobody.
Okay. Just the fact that the defender's back was to the center, I think helped disguise that foul a little bit.
Yeah, you might be right. He didn't see the contact and he doesn't want to guess. Maybe that kid, well, this is looks like it's the first quarter. Maybe the first, 6 minutes of this game, this kid's fallen down 3 times.
well, we're straight line on the play too, and we're assuming that there was contact, and we can't see it. We're straight lined. And so I respect the official. He went up, down, and rebound.
Well, that's true.
Respect his call.
That's true. We don't have a great look at it, and we're putting a lot of assumption to it. I'm not disparaging that official. But it is pretty odd for a shooter to fall kind of awkwardly like they fell. So you can make an assumption that something happened. All right, let's watch this video.
Oh.
Okay, no whistle on this play. I'm going to play it fast again.
You can hear someone in the background saying,
okay, so the defender clearly jumps A to B. Do we agree?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jumps under the shooter's space. Yes, the shooter's jumping forward slightly as well, but he jumps under the shooter's space.
It's on the side of him.
It looks like he lands on his foot, maybe not.
Yeah, he
but
did.
but he lands on top of this arm, which is in the shooter's space.
Yeah, his arm is hitting the shooter in the chest.
That the contact on that arm is enough for that to be a foul.
I'm calling a foul.
Yep.
I definitely calling a foul.
What do we think about this one?
That's a foul.
I think it's foul.
Foul.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, again, and I know that clip specifically was a hard game, a physical game. And a buddy of mine was reffing that game, and he was explaining to me this and explaining to me that. And unfortunately, as officials, we need to get over the fact that we've already had 15 fouls this quarter. I just don't. All right, that's enough for me to pass on because I want to get a flow to the game. And I get that, totally get it. But there are certain fouls like these closeout fouls that we just have to get. And it's not anymore of a, didn't really affect the play. They want us to get these closeout fouls because they're trying to eliminate injury. That's really what it comes down to. So plays like that are no longer, there's always judgment in what we call and don't call, but they're trying to take more of the judgment out on a play like that and just say, like we said before, coach, he's got to let him land. He didn't let him land. He didn't come down safely. Coach, I'm protecting the shooter. All of those things, coaches maybe they won't be happy about it initially, but they know as long as you're protecting both sides, fine, then let's do that. All right, one more, and then I'm going to find a bonus foul in my end of game protocol.
Lead back to 4. Quick release and fouled on a 3. Indeed it is.
I don't
Okay,
know
we got a
about
foul on that play. Would we say this contact was similar to all of the others that they didn't call?
Yes.
Right? I mean, all of these are very similar plays. Some of them had them, some of them didn't. But any little contact on a shooter who's coming down needs to be a foul.
And fouled on a 3.
And did that contact affect that shot at all?
No.
No, absolutely
I don't
not.
see the hands. I don't even see that he touched him. Did he? I mean, did he touch him?
I didn't either.
I can't see from this angle that he touched him.
The contact came after he released it.
Where?
All right, watch that here. Watch the live version. Watch the body of the shooter. You'll see a little recoil as he comes down.
Lead back to 4. Quick release.
Did you see him hit something when he was coming down?
Yes.
Indeed it is.
It was slight. I'm not saying it was a lot of contact, but that's not the point. The point isn't whether the ball was affected or the shot. The point wasn't how slight it was. The point was that shooter has to come down safely. We all agree with that. I mean, did I make my point on those that it's not severity, it's not advantage disadvantage. It's they've got to come down for the safety of the player.
So, Josh, in that case, the defender did not get into the shooter's vertical plane. The shooter, in the motion of shooting, extended his arms forward. That's got to be where the contact occurred. How much deference do we give to them when they're extending their arms forward and there's contact as slight as that?
It looked like It looked like the contact was on the torso.
Okay.
Darn too toughless.
Contact. I'm going to do this one slow. See if I can do. The contact was like in the armpit area.
Right there.
He lands on him. And again, a slow motion, you can't see the slight recoil.
I get it.
But when he comes down, you can see him kind of go bump, bump.
Yeah, I get it.
Quick release and fouled on a 3.
And then 3-4 years ago, I would have probably had nothing and said, you can't call that. That was hardly any contact. But again, that's not the point. The point is you have to protect that shooter. If a shooter jumps, once they're in the air, they are allowed to land wherever that trajectory is going to take them. And that's an airborne shooter or an airborne player without the ball. They are allowed to land on the ground. So as soon as I leave the floor, if I move into that space, that's illegal. It's not a legal guarding position, correct?
Okay.
Correct.
The same goes for if the defender jumps in the air and then the offensive player moves into that defender's space who's jumping. It really applies both ways. Does that make sense?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, so now we know that if we can't determine who jumped or what, now we have to say, I'm going to probably err on the side of the shooter. Do we agree with that or no?
I do. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to play this from our bonus clip. End of the game. 2-point ball game, 6.3 seconds on the clock, bonus both ways. And the guest, the blue team, they are the ones winning. And the white team, the home team, they have the ball. Okay. And I think it's probably thrown in at this point. If not, it's just getting ready to. Watch the play and then we'll discuss.
Oh boy.
What?
What do you do? Give him a timeout?
Okay, they did give him a timeout. Here's what they did. They put 2 seconds on the clock.
Why are they throwing it in from there?
That's where the timeout was called. And they gave away their chance. All right, so everyone was ultimately happy. But I don't know if anyone was watching this coach, and I'm going to play it slow for you, but watch the coach. Don't watch the play. Watch the coach.
Come on for a timeout.
Nobody's looking at this coach.
Timeout.
He called it with like 4 seconds left.
He did.
Oh, with more than that.
He did.
At least
he did.
4.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Gotta have game awareness.
So at about 4.5, the coach clearly is asking for a timeout. Wait, I'm going to back up here a little bit. Well,
Wait, who is that over there?
yeah, that's some nobody.
Is that because he's watching the play?
He went to every official. Did you see that? I'm going to go back again. He first comes to the lead.
Yeah, he did.
And the lead is in La La Land. He's like, this guy's not paying attention. All right, I'm going to the center. And the center's not even looking. The center's watching the play right now. So I'll give him a pass there, but he should have saw probably earlier because it looks like the ball just got in there. And then he's like, fine, I'm going to go to the official who's closest to me, who's just not even in the front court, just strolling in the front court. And he's angry. Now, first of all, we're not going to tee this coach up for being out on the floor, are we?
No.
No.
No, not in that situation, no.
Okay, not at all. We shouldn't even be thinking that.
Well, you asked.
I know. All right, so I'm just going to show you, who do you think should be watching for this play? For this timeout, I mean, who should be getting this timeout?
Trail on the table side.
He's got the bench. Yeah, he's on bench side.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the trail watching right now?
Where is he? He's in the backcourt.
Okay, I understand that. And we'll address his positioning in just a little bit. But what is he watching right now?
I'm guessing the play.
He's on the ball.
The ball and the matchup. So I'm going to give the trail a slight pass here because he's got a different focus right now.
Okay, well, what about the center? What are we doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, shouldn't the center seeing across the court see that as well?
Don't you think the center's got a pretty good view of what the coach wants?
He should.
He's looking there.
Well, what about the lead? He's not watching anything.
He's ball watching.
Especially if he's watching the players that he's supposed to be watching, he would have been looking right at the coach too.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, with 6.3 seconds left and the team who's down by 2, we all as officials should be saying possible timeout situation.
Absolutely.
So all 3 of these officials, in my opinion, can get this and should probably get this because we're all thinking timeout's coming, timeout's coming. Now, what I don't like, and I agree, the trail is probably the most at fault of not getting this. He probably is that's not what I say at fault. He should be the one who probably gets this the most if he was up with the play, right? If he's up here with the play, he's not only going to see the coach probably, but even if he's not looking, he's going to be able to hear the coach screaming for a timeout. I mean, look at all the people in the stands, right? My point is, it's probably not too loud for him to hear, but if he's in his position where he's supposed to be, keeping up with the players, he would have been right there.
Absolutely.
But I'm not giving the center or the lead a pass at all because any 3 of those officials could have and probably should have had that timeout. Now,
it wasn't the trail, should have been the
That's
center.
quite the movement on the trail there.
He's still
in the play.
You like that? Yeah, he finally hustled up there.
He's doing the little moonwalk.
Yeah, not even running still.
The lead is total ball watching.
Now here, the lead is, I don't know what the lead is doing, to be honest with you.
He
And
thought the
yes,
game
that is me at the lead. I have no idea what I am doing.
Did you
I'm ball
not
watching.
hear anything?
I am
No.
ball watching. That is exactly what I'm doing. Ooh, this is going to be a great play. They're going to totally tie this up. I don't know what I'm thinking, but all right. So here's my next question though is the time runs out, right? It expires. The lead recognizes that, oh, wait, he wanted a timeout. Crap, we really screwed up because he's mad. And I honestly only remember this game so much. I don't remember exactly how this worked. But again, they put 2 seconds on the clock.
So
How do we get 2 seconds?
Make it up.
Probably what the trail saw, maybe.
Yeah.
You were there. You were there.
I
How
honestly
did you
don't
come up with that?
I honestly don't remember, but I think we all said he was asking for a while. I think we got to give him some amount of time. We can't just put up, 0.5 or 2 seconds probably wasn't generous enough, but at the same time, the other coach, you know, the game was over. They put it up and they didn't put it in. And so we probably guessed. Is that by rule the thing to do?
No.
No. I gotta ask.
Why is the ball inbounded bench side instead of over where the ball was?
That's a good question. I'll tell you why. Yes, it was my game, but this was like 5 years ago. Because we were so concerned about, we screwed this coach by not being ready for a timeout.
Right.
We all knew we got it wrong. It was our fault. So we probably we probably lost where the ball was. Who knows where we're going to put it right here.
Okay.
That's the best I got for you.
And let's get out of here.
Yeah, we just wanted to get out of there. And luckily they had 2 seconds and they still flubbed the play. So, but the point of that clip is, even if you don't have a timeout, and there was no timeout before that throw in happened, you need to know the situation and you need to be ready for a timeout or maybe a hard foul or something. You gotta be ready. You can't be standing like I was on the end line, watching the ball and, you know, thinking about his girlfriend and, you know, what are we going to have for lunch after?
Was there a timeout before that play was?
That looked like Belmore on the other end. Was that Steve?
It was not, and I'm not going to tell you who the other two were, but. All right, that was protect the shooter. What do you guys think that was it good? I know they were all the same kind of play, but hopefully I made my point that we got to call it.
Absolutely. Good job. Next
month, right before the season, second Thursday of the month, right, is our meetings.
Absolutely.
As you can see here, November 9 is the second Thursday of the month, and we're going to talk about the National Federation High School Points of Emphasis. And we might talk a little bit about the rule changes, because one of the emphasis topics, why that's hard to say,
shall be,
is throw-ins.
Yes.
And that's one of the rule changes as well, right? The 4 designated spots. So we're going to talk about that as well. I've got some videos that I've constructed to help put that together. So I think next month will be a good meeting if you want to get in the right mindset for the new rules.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Josh.
Good night, everybody.
Later.
See you, Tim.
Yeah, take care, John.
Take care.